Hi guys, so I always get comments from people asking me how I garden or things about gardening or saying they wish they had a green thumb like me or teach me your ways or things like that. So I decided that I would start sort of a gardening YouTube how-to and just teach you. So right now I'm spring seed starting, and I've already started some, so I figured it's no better time than now to start from the beginning and take you through a whole season so I can teach you along the way. So I will show you what I am doing now. So to start, as you can see, I have these heavy duty black trays. It's what you need. You want something sturdy that's not going to fall apart, and you want to be able to reuse it and reuse it. I also am using these, I ordered these on Amazon. They're just like little biodegradable bags. So if you were using plastic ones, you'd want to sanitize it so that they can be sterile and you don't bring any diseases that you may have had from last year into your new season. So for me, this is perfectly, because I feel like it's more sustainable. I can plant it right into the garden and I don't have to worry about sanitizing. That's my laundry machine. So I found the best thing though is that they come like this. So if you just take the bag and fold them down, then you can fill them a lot easier and then place them in your container. So I also, for soil, I only use just like a container mix. I don't use like a seed starting mix or anything like that. You don't need any sort of fertilizers when you're starting seeds. The seedlings don't really need that until they get a little bit bigger. So you could maybe do some worm castings or something like that. So I just use a normal organic container mix. You want something light and fluffy, nothing that's gonna weigh the seeds down and prevent them from being able to pop up. So I also have this tray. I wish you could see it better. And I have got these lights, and I created a little pulley system, and I'll show you this closer right now. So here's my system. I'm basically using this open shelving unit. I have my lights plugged in beside it, and these are basically just LED grow lights. And I've created this pulley system so that as the plants get bigger, I can raise. So when you're first starting off with seeds, you want the light to be pretty low so that it can help germinate. You don't want the light too far away, because what the plants will do is they'll start really trying to reach for that light and they'll get very leggy, which just creates a lot of problems for your plants. You don't want a really leggy plant. You don't want it to flop over and not be able to support itself. So you want a good sturdy stem and not really leggy. Tomatoes kind of always look leggy. That's just kind of, they're actually a vining plant, so they always kind of look leggy. So what I do though when I'm starting, so once I got all the bags filled with soil, I will pre-moisten it with my spray bottle, which I just keep by here. And then I'll make my holes, and then I'll drop, I'll go ahead and label everything and stick everything where I want it. And I always do more than what I need, just in case anything happens. I'll always have a backup. And then I place several, like 2 to 3 seeds in each container. And then once the plants sprout and they get roughly around this size or a little bit smaller, I will thin them down to the healthiest looking, most sturdy plant, and then let that be my main plant. So that's kind of what I did for all these. I started these a week ago, and you can see how well it's already doing, and they're already getting their first true set of leaves. And the other great thing I forgot to mention also about these bags is because I've rolled them down, which honestly helps them just stay up in the beginning, but tomatoes will grow roots basically off of their stem because it's a vining plant. So I can roll this up and fill it in with more soil, and it creates a more sturdy plant, and I don't even have to transplant it into something bigger because I can just kind of add to this already. So I really like that. So I have 2 shelves, and then I have a bigger space at the bottom, which I'm gonna get a light for as well, so that when these get bigger, I'll have more room for them to grow down here, because they're probably gonna get bigger than this before I'm able to put them outside. So if you lived somewhere really cold, or if you had this outside, you could also get a seedling heat map to keep it warm. You can keep it in the 70s, which is what seeds like for germination. I live in Florida, so I mean, it's cold outside right now, but my house stays pretty warm. Since this is inside, I'm not really worried about it, and I don't feel like I need any sort of heat mats, and obviously they did just fine already. So yeah, so here are all of my seeds. And things like peppers will take longer, so these are just getting started. So peppers, you kind of typically want to start 8 weeks back from your last frost date, and tomatoes are more like 6 weeks. So you want to make sure that you don't ever start anything too early, because then the garden won't be ready for it, especially if it's frosty outside. So yeah. So I really hope that was helpful. Oh, Luna, you want to say hey? I'm obviously not an expert, but I am very passionate about gardening, and it's just something that I truly love. And honestly, the best advice that I can give anyone is just to get started. Even if you're in the same zone as someone, it just varies so much where you're at. So the best way to really learn is just to start trying with trial and error and just figuring it out as you go. You know, there's nothing wrong if you mess up. That happens all the time, even with the most experienced gardener. You know, sometimes the weather and things and bugs, and sometimes things are just out of your control, and that's just how it goes. So you just have to learn and try to figure out how to make it better for the next year. So I hope that was helpful and that you learned something. So I'm out in the garden doing a bunch of just basically work, cleaning stuff up. And I didn't cut my milkweed back. I'm in North Florida, so there's like a native population in South Florida, so I don't feel that bad about it. But I found like 13 monarch caterpillars on my milkweed, and then watch this. I wonder if I can flip this. I may not be able to, but maybe I could just... Do you guys see that? Oh, I don't know how I even found that. I just had a feeling. I saw some really big ones the other day, and I just had a feeling that that would be a perfect spot for them to crawl away to, you know? So I don't know. I'm excited. Hi, little boy. You want to say hello? He says the only thing I care about is frisbee. So I guess I could do like a little garden tour while my row covers are off. I still have like leaf piles everywhere because that's what I'm doing right now. But I have 8 beds, and I usually plant around the shed in the summer. But I don't need that much space during the winter because it's just me and my boyfriend, and we possibly can't, you know, eat that much really. I don't want it to go to waste. So I have some Savoy. I have a net over this, but my chickens still get under there. In the shadow. Parsley and some echinacea and hyssop and some calendula. Like, this calendula is really pretty when it blooms, so it's almost there. Parsley, I have a bunch of parsley. I think I'm gonna get rid of some. It's kind of too much. Some aloe under there, fennel, some bok choy, and this is lemon thyme, and it smells so good. Bunch of kale, a little nasturtium hiding back here. I keep thinking it's gonna bloom any day, but it hasn't yet. I don't know. Some radishes and beans and carrots. Some cabbages. This one's looking really good. My chickens got into a lot of this whole pile, as you can see. Even with the row covers on, somehow they're just so sneaky. Some broccoli. I already harvested a lot of these, but I'm just saving them in here because broccoli will put off side shoots and you can harvest those. Lettuces, and that's a Romanesco in the back. It randomly It's doing its thing, so I'll just let it. Luna. Lettuces. And then I planted a bunch of potatoes in there today. Luna loves to dig. Get out. Lemon trees. My chickens are in the coop while I clean and they hate it. They usually free range a lot. So, hi cutie boy. This is my bud. But he only cares about Frisbee. Hi.